Okay, this is our first video for an introduction to how to use Adobe Premiere. So I'm going to take it right from the very beginning. The footage that we want to edit, I've put in this folder right here, footage, just for convenience. So we'll get there in just a minute, but the first thing we want to do is launch Adobe Premiere. I have it down here on the bar. If you don't have it there, open the Start menu and search for Premiere. Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. This is the 64-bit version that we're using. That should be the one that's installed on the computer, so hopefully it is. So the first thing this is going to prompt you to do when it opens up is ask if you want to open a project you've been working on, or if you want to make a new project. And we're going to make a new project, assuming we're starting from square uno. So it'll show us recent projects we may have worked on. We're going to click on New Project right here, and that will open up a kind of intimidating page that has a lot of different stuff on it, but not as intimidating as the one to come. So pretty much you don't need to change any of this. The only thing you need to change is browse and tell the computer where you want this project saved. Now I wouldn't usually do this on the desktop, but because that's where my footage is, usually I like saving the project file in the same place as the footage. It might become useful later on to kind of organize it even a little bit further. I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to save it right there, and then we need to have a name for it. So let's call it test project. Okay, now this is the really intimidating one. There's tons of sequence presets it asks you, different settings, blah blah blah. Here's the trick. Hit cancel. When we tell Adobe Premiere which clips we're going to use, it will automatically set these for us, and it is way easier. So just hit cancel, trust me, and you might get a blank screen for a little bit, but now it's going to pull up your workspace. Now this is how the workspace is set traditionally. All of these are adjustable depending on if you need more room, less room, here, there. But these two screens at the top are going to be your video preview screens. This is where you're going to find your footage, your effects, everything else. And this is the sequence, where you're going to put the clips and the audio in order of how you want it to appear. So the first thing we need to do is this project tab has everything that we've imported into the project or created for the project, which right now is nothing. You'll find photos here, audio, songs, video, everything will show up right here. So what we need to do is go to Media Browser. Well, there's two ways of doing this. I'll show you both. So if we go to Media Browser, this will pull up the different files on the computer as well as external hard drives. This one right here is my external hard drive, so that shows up as well. So this is actually getting to the desktop is going to be a little bit of a trick. Where's my users? Anyway, oh, there it is. So we can do this in order to find our footage, and then either right click, import, or you can drag it over to the place itself, not the file, the tab. Now one thing that's kind of cool about this is, let's say I know I want to be a little organized, so in the projects I don't want everything just clumped together right here. I can make a bin, which is a folder, they call it a bin, and I want to do my video clips, have them all in one place. Now if I open this, it'll open in a new tab right there, and when I import it, I can just import it right to that bin. Just by dragging, going on to the bin, it'll open the tab, and then releasing inside. And now, if we go back to project, it's inside that one item, inside my video bin. There it is. Okay, now let me show you the second way of doing this. If we minimize this a little bit, grab our footage folder for the other videos that I want to import. I'm going to import them this way just to show you the two different ways of doing it. I can just drag and drop, and again I'm dropping right into the bin that's inside of my project tab. So I'm not dragging it into the media browser. That wouldn't do anything. That would just put it back in the folder it's already in. So I'm dragging it into the project tab inside of the bin that's in that project tab. Oh, earlier I said that you might want to organize this a little more as well. The only thing I was suggesting was do the same thing. Maybe we'll make a video tab inside of there. Oh, and this will be good actually, because once we move this, it's going to have a different file path, and I'll show you how it freaks out Adobe Premiere. So now it's saying, okay, what did you do with file 445? They can't find it, but if you know where it is, it's pretty easy to fix. But that's a good thing to know so you don't freak out, and it's pretty intuitive. When we told it where the one file was, it found all the other ones. Okay, so now we have our videos imported into the project. We're looking at them here in the bin. One nice thing that you can do in Premiere is called scrubbing. If you just move your mouse across the video, it will actually play for you. There's no sound, but you can kind of get an idea. Okay, what was in this clip? I want to see which one I want to use first. Was it, okay, what's in this clip? Okay. If you click on it, you'll actually get this little bar that shows up, and you can hear the sound as well. If I hit the space bar, it will actually play, and I can hear the sound and see the footage. I can click off of that. So let's say I want to start with, I don't know, let's start with the ringing of the bells, because that one's a little bit different. Now I can do a couple things. I can right click and say that I want a new sequence from the clip, and honestly I don't even know where to do that from here. I usually, oh there it is, new sequence from clip. Or the way that I usually do it is this new item tab right here. I can just drag the video onto that, and it will create a sequence for me. Now a sequence is I don't know how to describe it. It's just the order of the clips and how you're putting them together. You can have a bunch of different sequences of the same clips. For example, let's say in this sequence, so because I made the sequence from this clip, it's automatically the first clip. It's going to show up right here. Here's the video and the video 1 spot. Here's the audio and the audio 1. So let's say that in this sequence I want to do that one and then this one. But let's say I want a different sequence where I have it the other way around, where I do this one first and then that one. So I can make a new sequence by doing the same thing. And now you see I have two sequences here, and I can drag this one into that one. So I can have my videos in multiple sequences, and they're going to show up here. In this, you can, in your sequence kind of box down here, the different sequences that you are looking at show up. Maybe we just want to work on this one, we'll close that one. Hopefully this is kind of making sense. But anyway, I don't actually want two sequences. I'm going to hit the delete key and get rid of that one, and double click this one to open it back up. Okay, now you have a toolbar here that has a lot of different options on it. Honestly, some of them I've never used, so I probably won't be able to tell you how to use them, but I'll do my best. So the videos that are in the sequence are going to show up in this window here, the program window. So if I click play, I'm going to hit the space bar, or I can hit it here. I can see this cursor moving across the screen as it's moving through this clip. I can see the sound levels changing over here on our audio mixer. I can see the video playing in this screen. Now, if I look here, there's a second screen that will show up with the video. If I double click what's here in the sequence, it will show up here. Now you'll notice that one plays but not the other. Now this is if I want to edit the clip, not necessarily the whole sequence, but just I'm looking at this one clip. So for example, if I'm going to put any effects onto this clip, that would be, I'm going to edit the effects over here. Here's the effects controls right here. If I'm going to change the in and out points of the clip, I would do that over here. I'll go into in and out points in 1 second. That's a pretty useful thing. But anyway, I'm just kind of trying to describe the different windows and what they're for, and why one plays sometimes and the other one plays sometimes. But let me show you in and out points real quick, because that is an important thing. So if I double click on this clip, which is not in my sequence, it's just sitting over here in my project bin. These are just the videos I've imported. Let's say I know I don't want to use the whole clip, but I want to figure out which part of the clip do I want to use. So I'm going to watch through it, and if I hit the I key, I as in igloo, it will set what is called an in point. That's where the video will start when I put it into the sequence. So I'm going to watch through this a little bit. So you might have noticed I did hit the I key while I was going. I decided I didn't really like this stark zoom out here. But the part I want is this couple dancing. So let's see, I'm going to set the in point. I already did right there. So I hit the I key, set the in point, and let's go ahead and stop right there. So that's all that I want from this clip, at least in this part of my video. So I'm going to hit O, which is the out key, and now I have a couple of options. I can overwrite or I can insert. So if I overwrite, which I can use by hitting the period key as well, it's going to just put my video right where my cursor is. Here, I'll show you. I hit that, and it actually deletes what used to be there and puts that video there instead. Now if I want to insert, I can also hit the comma key. That will, the video that where the cursor is right now, it will cut it in half, insert this video in, and so it's going to actually lengthen the entire thing because it didn't delete any of this original video. It just kind of put a cut in it, inserted the video, and then resumed where it was. I actually don't really want to do either of those, not where the cursor is anyway, so I can do a couple things. If I just drag this, now that it has an in and an out point set, when it puts it into the sequence, it's not going to put the entire clip, it's just going to put the part of the clip that I selected, which is exactly what I want. So there we go. That's exactly where my in and my out points were, and that's just what I wanted. So that's in and out points, pretty useful. Again, that's the I key and the O key to set them, or right here you can mark in, mark out, but it's a lot easier just with the keys.